Good evening, gentlemen, and a few of you ladies that may be listening. This is Spiritual Art of War, back at it again with another episode. And this time we're going to talk about the scandal in Rat-Lanta, or Atlanta, with the rappers there. It looks like complete big-time backfire with that whole situation with Young Thug. And, Gunna has taken a lot of heat for that whole situation that led to the RICO charges. Those are state charges, not federal. And, there was a deal that was made where Young Thug was able to get out and under like a long-term probation. And then he has certain restrictions where he can't talk or associate or rap about the whole gang affiliation or gang that he had. He can't say slime. He can't do the slime nose movement thing. And so a lot of people were happy when Thug got out, and they were saying he kept it solid. He kept it real. They liked the guys like, I guess, other affiliates like Woody. Of course, he had the beef with YFN Lucci. There's a whole bunch of things with that. If you wanted more deep details about the whole Young Thug situation, you'd have to go back to older videos of academics breaking some stuff down. But Gunna, who's actually had a successful comeback, he's actually bigger than he was even before the whole RICO charge. He's dropped, I think, his last album with the label that he was signed to with Thug, and he's making himself be seen as more of a positive figure who pushes, taking care of yourself, health. In fact, he just had a run club, and which was all over the internet. He's not even making any statements about this situation with all the conversations that are being leaked with 21 Savage and Young Thug, and the Young Thug talking to the police about different things, talking about the Lil Wayne situation and, Birdman and all that stuff. And I'm not going to sit around listening to the whole thing. All I know is that he's clearly talking to the authorities in these recorded conversations, and he's, letting some things be known that people would have thought he would have never talked about with the authorities. So this is a very interesting thing. And if you ask me, who's the winner of all this, because Lil Baby was even involved in some of the... there are certain conversations which Lil Baby was involved with, the leaked conversation about him saying that he's not going to talk to anybody that Jeff says not to talk to. Jeff is Young Thug's government name. So we see here that these guys are all intertangled into this situation, and I think the winner of all this is going to be, to a large degree, Gunna, and to a lesser degree, Future, because Future is still kind of in the position that he's always stayed in the Atlanta rap scene. But everybody else becomes a little bit more suspect with this situation. Now, that's just from an Atlanta street cred situation, and that's also from an Atlanta, who's going to work with who's going to deal with who. Because a lot of people are going to move according to that street code logic, if you get what I'm saying. But when you look at it, Drake, on the periphery, kind of benefits, because a lot of the talk is not on him, and the whole Atlanta situation is not going to be kind of put on him. And I believe he still has a good relationship with Offset. I don't know about his relationship with Quavo, but he has a good relationship with Offset. Offset has just dropped the album. I believe it's commercially, I don't know if it's commercially doing well, but I heard from people that are talking about it online that it's a good album. He has some singles on there that look like they're making some waves. Me, myself, I don't really listen to a lot of rap, but I keep up with it enough to not be ignorant. I don't want to be I don't want to be the unk that don't know what's going on, It's very funny because the unk thing is actually a very popular trend among the younger generation. It looks like a lot of Gen Zs do respect a lot of unks, especially the unks that are kind of in the know, and that kind of keep their, they have a lot of knowledge, and they kind of keep themselves in shape, and they kind of keep themselves relevant. Of course, a lot of the rappers are in that unk range anyway. They're 35 plus, so and they're still popular among Gen Z, so maybe that kind of helps as well. So, but I think this is like a good distraction for the likes of a Drake, okay? Because it kind of keeps his name out of the negative press dealing with the whole Kendrick Lamar situation and the lawsuit with Universal. Plus, he's still dropping, he's gonna still be dropping music. He has the Iceman coming out. So, there's a lot of stuff going on in the music industry where they're trying to see what they can do with these bigger names to kind of like see if they can keep the run of the music industry going, because it's kind of fading away to a certain degree. But there's still some bright spots in the music industry. So, I'm not even surprised by the information, because, if you're going to be able to get out the way the plea deal he had to have said something. So, you know what I'm saying? And the case was it had some holes in it. It wasn't as strong as a federal RICO case, but we see federal RICO cases are not really that strong. We saw what happened with Diddy's case. So, it kind of is what it is, but it's a major controversy in Atlanta and in hip-hop right now. And I think that it actually kind of helps Drake in a way, because it's going to allow him to just focus on letting this stuff die down, getting to the marketing. Now he kind of is not the main person that everybody's going to be talking about. I think this is going to be a discussion going on for some time. I think this is going to be a discussion for the next 3 to 6 months, on and off, when it comes to the rap scene, because Atlanta is pretty much like the headquarters right now of hip-hop. It just is. You have to either be tied to it or connected to it in some way. Even Kendrick Lamar did a song with Metro Boomin and Future, right? So it's not like they're not relevant. It's a very relevant part in the hip-hop community. And we're going to see kind of where it goes from there. In regards to it's funny because Mariah the Scientist, who's actually blowing up right now, she was already kind of had a buzz, but she kind of played it, she's an interesting individual, because she kind of just did her own thing and didn't appear to be trying to be a big star. And she's now like emerging into like a name. She can almost damn near, if she wanted to, she kind of almost can get into that lane of like SZA, which SZA's like, a big artist. So we'll see how she goes, but she's tied to, Young Thug, who she's been obsessed with. I think it's more of like a high school crush, because she's from Atlanta, Mariah the Scientist. So I think that Young Thug's rise and influence in her adolescence kind of made her obsessed with this guy. And that's why I think she's with him. I think that's why her motivation. I think that's why she's obsessed with him. I'll put it like that, because of that influence that she had growing up in the Atlanta area. But will she stick by his side? Only time will tell. You know what I'm saying? She's kind of immersed in. She kind of is like socializes with his kids. She kind of looks at herself as almost like an emerging influential stepmother type. She's even talked about trying to tell a woman about, it's not as bad as you think being with a man with kids. In fact, it's probably beneficial for you to be with one. So she's trying to promote that. But we're going to see how this thing goes. Examine it as more things unfold. But I'm trying to keep it short. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next episode.